Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful winter's day out here in West Vancouver. In today's video we're going to talk about the cash for keys thing that's going on at the moment in Canada, which is like it's where tenants refuse to pay rent and demand cash. But anyway, before we get there, I just wanted to make this announcement. We are doing a little braai on Saturday in John Lawson Park, and if you are in the area and you feel like getting together, just want to come say hello, or you want to bring your chops and come braai with us, check it out. There's a link in the description to the video from the Biltong and Braai Club where I explain what's going to happen and what it's all about. So if you want to come say hello, or if you've got nothing else to do on Saturday, or you just want to see a bunch of other South Africans, or you just want to see whoever, or you just feel like a little piece of braai meat, or you just feel like a braai, check it out and join us. All right, so now let's talk about this cash for keys thing. So how it works in Canada is if you rent a house, or if you're a landlord and you have a tenant that's not paying your rent, there's the landlord and tenants board, or I'm not exactly sure what it's called, tenant and landlord board or anything, but there's this organization, this structure that's supposed to manage all complaints and things like that. So if your tenant is not paying his rent, you would go to them, you will say, hey, I've got this tenant, he's not paying his rent, and they will look into the case and they will issue an eviction order, and then the tenant has to be put out, then the tenant has to go. Now, it used to work really well, where within a couple of weeks, if you want to apply for an eviction order, you would get an eviction order. The problem is that that board has now gotten to where they have, like, I think it's currently a 17-month backlog. So the tables have completely turned from landlords to tenants. What's happening at the moment, and it's all over the news, is you have these tenants in the homes, and then they stop paying rent, and then the landlord goes and he applies to the board for an eviction order. But that eviction order can take anywhere from 9 to 17 months. That's how long it takes. And for all that time, the tenant stays in the house and they're not paying rent. And lately, this is the cash for keys thing, lately the tenants have gotten around to like, oh, okay, so this guy is going to struggle to get me out of this house for the next year and a half. So what I'll do is I'll make an offer to the landlord, and I'll say, look, if you pay me $20,000, I'll give you the keys back and I'll leave tomorrow. So that's what's going on. I mean, I'm reading reports where tenants demanded something like $50,000 to leave the house. So, I mean, think about this. They rented your property, they're not paying their rent, and then they demand $50,000 to move out. And you can do nothing, because apparently there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. There's zero other recourse. As a landlord, the only way you can evict your tenant is through the tenant and landlord board, or through this organization. And, you know, they're just pulling their shoulders up. Backlog, we'll deal with it as soon as we can. So that's a fun thing to watch. Obviously, the landlords are losing it. There was this one story on CTV News or something where this lady had this house. She and her husband, their kid was still young, but they bought a house close to a primary school because they thought that, hey, the house is available now, and next year when our kid goes to school, we are then close, and our kid, you know, we're close to school. So they bought the house, but it's still a year early, so they rented out the house for a year. The next year when they gave the tenant actually paid the rent all the way, until the next year when they told the tenant, look, the year is up. As per our contract, you must now please leave the home. The tenant turned around and said, no, I'm not going, and stopped paying rent immediately, right there. So it took about 2 months. They were arguing, trying to get the tenant out. And then the tenant came up and said, hey, you pay me, I think it was $20,000 or $30,000, and I will leave. So they obviously said, no, I mean, that's not, it's just like, it's not right. Why must I pay you to leave my house if you're not paying rent? You're there illegally. But anyway, so they didn't do it. They went the right route with the tenant and landlord. It took them 15 months to get the eviction order. When they finally got the eviction order and they went to the house, that guy wasn't even staying in the house anymore. That guy has been subletting the house to other tenants for the past year. So in other words, he left the house, he rented out the house to other tenants, and this woman says this house was completely destroyed. and there's nothing they can do. It's like, just, sorry, you know. I suppose it does screw up your record. I mean, you're not going to get, you're not going to get decent references from your previous landlord if you do that. But that's just like not cool. Weird things people come up with. Oh, I was just about to say goodbye, and then I thought about this. So the even crazier thing about this is they have the head of the Tenants Association in Ontario on the news, and this guy is sitting there going, yeah, it's fine that the tenants do this because for all these years the landlords had the power, and now the tenants have the power. So I'm 100%, I don't feel sorry for the landlords that are losing their rent. And I mean, look, it's just normal people. It's just somebody that invested in a house. Anyway, besides, it is what it is, I guess. It's crazy. It just blows my mind. I struggle to get over it, or I struggle to understand it. But anyway, folks, so you all must have a good one. Cheers.